the half here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Northwestern State on top of Arkansas Baptist, 31-23 in front of the home fans here at Prather Coliseum. And we're joined now by ESPN Plus director Travis Mitchell. Glad to have you joining us here, Travis. And I know you're excited for this interview. We've had a lot of fun together,
yes.
And now a chance for us to really sit down and talk about everything that you guys mean to us here at Northwestern State.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm so excited to be here on the camera with you, more than anybody else, to tell you the truth.
What's more nerve-wracking, getting on the camera or, knowing that you have the entire show kind of falling on your shoulders as one of the directors?
Definitely being on the camera. I look like an idiot on camera.
No.
It's a lot of fun. I really love doing it. I am the director, so I've been directing broadcasts over here for, I guess it's been about a year and a half now. It's coming up on something like that. I've done basketball, done a lot of baseball. We get a lot of baseball into the baseball season. I got to do football for the first time this year. I was running camera actually for football before, and that's one thing that's really exciting about this ESPN Plus program is that you get opportunities to work up in it.
Yep.
Like I said, I started off running cameras. It's a lot of fun. But then our producer, James Stanfield, and David Antilli, they both talked to me and they said they'd like me to start directing some of the broadcasts. So I've been doing that for just coming up on a year now. It's been a lot of fun. And actually we are having another guy kind of start directing broadcasts too. He is who's doing it right now. His name's Stanley.
Yep.
He's been a great camera operator for us. And we decided, since he's so good at camera, we're not going to have him do that anymore. We're going to have him direct some broadcasts.
That's the way it is. Once you get good at one thing, they start throwing some other stuff on your plate. As someone who has done a little bit of everything myself, I've directed, I've produced, I've obviously, done play-by-play as well. There's a different type of anxiety that comes with each. When you're on camera, it's like you make a mistake, you look like an idiot in front of people, but you have this special pressure when you're the director that like everything could go wrong and it's actually your fault.
Yes.
It's really tough. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So as a director, I think a lot of people really might not know the difference between directors and producers.
Sure.
Producers, they really have the power over the broadcast. They're making all the connections. They're calling up ESPN and everything, and they're kind of like I guess you could say they're the head of everything because James, our producer, will tell me what to do.
They're kind of like the head coach, and then the director's the quarterback executing the play to a degree.
You could say it like that. But so what I do as director is I get to talk with all our cameras. So each camera operator operates one camera. I kind of operate 4 cameras. It's a lot of paying attention, really, is the main thing. If you're not good at paying attention to things, maybe if you don't enjoy sports a lot, this might not be what you want to do. But if you do enjoy sports and you like watching sports, man, this is perfect. Because as director, I get to watch the whole game from every angle, really. And I get the last say in deciding, hey, I want to see this up on the screen, and anybody watching is going to see what I'm having them see. So it's really neat in that way. You get to see a lot of the stuff that goes on that you don't get to see when you're just watching it on TV.
Sure.
It really is a great experience, and we always have a lot of fun working with our camera operators specifically. We'll get new guys in there, and it's kind of neat to see how people see the game differently through the camera.
Yeah.
You get to see what they think is important, and then you get to tell them that's not important to get what you want. But it really is a lot of fun. I really like doing it.
Well, you're kind of the perfect example of what Northwestern State is doing right now with this program. You've been on the camera, you're now directing, you've done a little bit of everything. Talk about this Northwestern State ESPN program as a whole and all the opportunities that they afford to students.
Yeah. The opportunities are so important for this because
really
I think you spoke with Davey the other day, so I'm going to kind of reiterate something he said. But other colleges and universities, like even universities our size, like you won't be getting on a camera even until you're a junior or a senior. Here we've got freshmen running cameras. We've had a couple high schoolers running cameras actually. We have freshmen, everybody from freshmen to seniors to even students who've been here a little longer we're doing everything. We've got a student running our replay right now. We've got a student running our graphics right now. And we've got a student directing, obviously. So it's so important to get to do that because you're going to be miles ahead of almost anybody else coming out. And the really, really important thing is, like, you'll see other schools our size, and they won't have equipment that's up to par.
Sure.
But we've made sure that our equipment is Like, it's what the big schools use. I mean, you're going to be ahead of everybody else coming out of school. Even if they went to a big university, you're going to have 2 or 3 even more years experience than almost any of those people.
Yeah, look, I've done quite a few different things with different companies, and what they're doing here at Northwestern State really is incredible. They have one of the, I think personally the best broadcast in the Southland Conference. You know, I believe that.
I like to think that.
You know, I'd like to think that, not to throw shade at anybody else, but what you guys do really is incredible. And they're setting the bar for others in the Southland. And I've worked with some other companies that you don't know what you're going to get sometimes when you show up. But when you show up here, you know what you're going to get. Every broadcast is done as professionally as possible. Besides, you know, maybe the play-by-play guy.
Get some work on the talent.
Yeah, we could probably get some better talent around here. But no, as far as the graphics are concerned, you know, everything from top to bottom on the back end of this, and production and the directing is always done at such a professional level. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, and y'all do an incredible job.
Appreciate it.
But there's one thing that I know is probably more difficult than anything, and that's working with James Stanfield, the producer.
Goodness.
I mean, this guy, you know, you never know what kind of curveballs he's going to throw at you.
Well, I'm happy you brought him up, actually, because he is one of, when it comes to these kind of things, I've worked at like real news stations. I worked at a news station in Wyoming for a year. I've done some live TV, and we've had technical guys up there. James, I got to shout him out. He knows this like the back of his hand.
He's great.
It really is incredible. Yep. If it weren't for him, this thing wouldn't run the way it is. Him and also Mr. David Antilli, they both work so hard to get everything looking as good as it can. Like, you wouldn't believe the wires that go through all this place, man. The wires in the trailer that we have outside, the wires in here, that is the one thing that you'll see if you start doing this stuff. It's how many things need to be connected just the right way, and how all of it works together. It works off of other stuff. If one thing falls through, like graphics or camera, it really throws a wrench in the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
And having those guys that know what they're doing and what needs to be hooked up to make everything look good and so it won't fail, that's huge. That's one of the things that really does separate us is James and Mr. David.
I can do quite a bit, but there's something about SDI cables and just the whole thing that really it's my biggest weakness. It's my arch nemesis, the SDI cable. I mean, it's so bad. But you know, kind of talking about David Antilli as well. He's y'all are in his tree, right? His coaching tree,
yes,
if you will. You guys have all learned from him.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
actually.
You know, and he's the Nick Saban around here, and everybody's just in his coaching tree. But David really has done an incredible job of, you know, leading you guys and showing you the ropes.
Yes, I mean, he'll tell you himself. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of years in here, and he just uses all that knowledge he's gained, and he can spread it around so well. He does such a good job explaining it to like new guys. He trained James. Like anybody coming in who's never worked a camera before, he'll get them for 5 minutes on a camera, and it looks like they've been doing it for like weeks and weeks. He's a good teacher. He really is a great teacher, and that's another thing that really helps us.
Yeah, great teacher, horrible person though. You know, he's really one of the greatest guys around here. Big shout out to David Antilli. And you know, I'll tell you what, man, you're doing a great job over here with me as well.
Yeah.
So it's you know, you're not just a director. Seems like you got the chops to be on camera as well.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you joining us, man. Travis Mitchell, our ESPN Plus director, and of course, shout out to James Stanfield, our producer as well. The score at halftime: Northwestern State leading 31-23 over Arkansas Baptist. We've got more coming your way on ESPN Plus.